Hey everybody, Toys of Arkham here, back with another quick review. This time it is of the Dark Toys Rick Deckard from Blade Runner, of course, and the original Blade Runner, not 2049. So this figure is somewhat of a re-release. I believe the company Dark Toys is another name for Redman Toys, who have already released a Rick Deckard in the past. Now, the Rick Deckard that they did release previously is actually one I have in my collection, and the head sculpt is different to this one. To be fair, this head sculpt is far better than the previous Harrison Ford head sculpt that they did release. Although they did a great job with weathering it, they put kind of a wet look effect on it, because obviously there are some scenes where he's in the rain and battle damaged and all that, and they did a great job of that particular head sculpt. So this is a re-release. Again, in fairness to them, they've changed nearly everything up, including the head sculpt, and I think you'll agree that that head sculpt has a very, very good likeness to Harrison Ford, who I believe is quite difficult to capture in 1/6 scale form. So in fairness, they did a great job. We'll have a closer look at that, but I just wanted to do a quick overview of the figure. So you can see he has his classic look from the movie, and plenty of accessories too. So this is kind of like a deluxe set as well. It's not an officially licensed product, obviously. I know there has been criticism of Redman Toys using recast techniques of, I suppose, respected 1/6 artists such as Rain Man, and people have boycotted Redman Toys and any sort of incarnation of Redman Toys, be it Dark Toys or any other name that he goes by. I am not on the moral high ground that they're on, insofar as Redman Toys is obviously taking advantage of Rain Man's artistry, but Rain Man himself hasn't got the permission to use the likenesses or licenses of the subject matters that he bases his art off. So I suppose Redman is robbing a robber himself. So, you know, who has the moral high ground? I don't think either of them have it. Anyway, I don't care one way or the other. I want a Rick Deckard in my collection, and I'm not going to be spending an absolute fortune on it if I don't have to. Now, this is a bit of a DX figure, I suppose, insofar as it has an extra head sculpt and it has some really cool accessories. The first of which is this, which is obviously the Void Comp test machine, which determines whether or not the subject matter he's investigating is in fact a replicant. And it is really cool. I love this. We didn't get this with the previous release, so it's a really nice touch. They obviously went to great lengths to get a proper mold done of this. Now, this eye and these other two images are simply decals, nothing more than that, but it does the trick. And this object here moves up and down, and that's obviously what goes on the eyeball of the subject matter being investigated, to have their responses recorded there by their eyeball through the monitor. So various questions will be put to them, and depending on how they answer and how they react, Deckard is trained to recognize in their pupil responses if they are in fact a replicant. So really cool to have that. Also, we have this whiskey bottle. Again, Deckard can get quite depressed in this movie. Sorry, I don't know why I keep calling him Deckard. I've watched so many reviews and people call him Deckard, and it annoys me. He's Deckard, because in the movie he is known as Deckard. I think it's maybe a British way of pronouncing Deckard as Deckard. So I'm going back to Deckard for the rest of this review. Anyway, So that's his whiskey bottle. Really like that. And there's his whiskey glass. You'll see a previous review of mine of the Hunter K, which is Officer K from Blade Runner 2049 figure. He comes with something similar to this, albeit it's a different company that makes that one. Some nicely sculpted hands. This is the origami little unicorn that plays a significant part in the movie, which is really nice to have in 1/6 scale form. Of course, his ID badge that he would use to identify who he is, obviously, and that's really nicely done. That's actually, I think, a metal badge too, which is a great touch. So we'll have a look at this alternate head sculpt, and the paintwork is, first of all, the sculpt itself is excellent. I think the likeness is very good. So I'll just try to get a focus. Will it focus? I'll try this, maybe. Is that better? Yeah. So the paint application is excellent. Sculpt is excellent. Sorry, paint application is a little bit soft. I think they could have done more with this particular head sculpt, because they've already done the wet look before to a very good standard. So I thought they could have done something similar with this. They didn't. They just simply put 2 dashes of red paint on it to make it look like he had been beaten up or something. Obviously that's meant to be blood. So other than that, like, there's not a whole else lot, you know, that's done with this. Is that a bit of a wet look on his ear? I don't know, did he just get one ear out in the rain? It's not quite up to the standard or up to the weathered look that I'd want from a second head sculpt. They could have really gone further with this, other than 2 red drabs of paint. But look, it's not so bad, I suppose. It is a very good head sculpt in its own right. So we'll go on to the head sculpt on the figure itself here, which, again, I think the paint application is a little bit soft. There's no doubt the head sculpt is excellent. I think if you hired a skilled 1/6 artist to do a repaint of this, I'd say you could make this looking incredibly well. But look, nonetheless, it is really good, really good. As you can see, kind of speckles, discoloration on his skin. That makes it look quite real. So, you know, the eyes as well. There's, against the sunlight there, a sense of realism there through his eyes, and his hair is sculpted very well. So overall, when it comes to the head sculpt, definitely an improvement over the last one when it comes to likeness. There's his blaster that is his signature weapon that he uses to retire replicants. Really nicely done. Although I think Superman toys do a better job of that, and I should actually switch that out because I have a spare one upstairs. But I suppose this is what you're getting with this figure, so that's what you want to see. The coat that he has here, you can zoom back out, is nicely tailored. There's some really nice stitching, really nice detail. The one thing it's missing that was in the older release is a wire, and the wire was running through the bottom of this and through the seam, the outer seam, and you could really bend it in whichever way you wanted to, which for figure photography is excellent, and for posing of course, but it puts movement in it if you want, whereas this doesn't have anything like that, unfortunately. The coat that was on the other release as well was slightly darker, which if you were going for the rain look would be accurate, you know, that it would, once becoming wet, would look darker. So you know, it's a little bit brighter. So I mean, I'm happy that I have the other version, because at least if I want to go full out and go the whole weathered wet look, I can do that and still have this version in a dry untouched look. So moving down the figure, He has brown slacks, which are accurate to the movie. I believe these shoes are not accurate, but look, they're passable. They're not so bad. He does come with a belt and holster. I have heard from other reviewers that some of these figures, when opened, don't have this included. So I suppose I was lucky to have that in my in the box. The shirt is really nicely done. Some, again, reviewers have spotted that the collar is slightly off from what it is in the movie. I can live with the way it is, doesn't bother me. I like the tie, I like how vibrant it is, I like the design on it. It's not sitting quite well with mine, but to be fair, I haven't really futzed around with it too much, so I suppose with a bit of effort I can get it looking well. The blazer underneath, that jacket underneath the main coat, is a really nice colour. It's kind of an orange. It doesn't look as orange in reality as it does here on screen. For some reason it seems to be popping more as an orange colour. It's more of a sand colour in reality. And we'll just spin him around here. The coat has a little kind of strap that goes around it. I suppose if you wanted to fasten that, you could do so. And sorry, he's not standing very well here on his stand. So look, I mean, I have to futz around with this to make it look a bit better, but there's no doubt about it, that is a cool Rick Deckard. I mean, you just need to mess around with it a bit. Well worth it though, because it's not a very expensive figure. I think you can get all of this for about €200, which is excellent value. He's an iconic figure from arguably the best the best sci-fi movie ever made. And in my opinion, it is, and closely followed by the likes of Alien, Terminator, Predator, all those classics. So it's absolutely fantastic, I have to say, it really is. The body itself, it's a pretty weak body, it's nothing special, but Harrison Ford in this movie was kind of an athletic build, I suppose, and this is accurate enough to how he appeared in that movie. Obviously, if you were to take layers off this figure in terms of the jacket and the coat, you know, he might appear a little bit more different. Maybe the neck might look a bit too long. I'm not quite sure. I'm not going to do that. This figure is going to be displayed as you see it here in my cabinet, albeit in different poses, and I hope to futz around with the outerwear a little bit better, a little bit more, and make it look better. Blade Runner is, you know, my favorite movie, and I'm just delighted to have a Rick Deckard in my collection. There have been versions of this in the past that have been going for insane money, even though they don't even look great. It was just merely because there were no options, so they were fetching hundreds and hundreds of euros on eBay. And you know, hats off to Redman Toys and Dark Toys for bringing this out. So overall, very happy with this, and please like, comment and subscribe, and there are more reviews coming shortly. So take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.